Department of Health and Human Services Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services as part of Operation Warp Speed. Please join me in welcoming Adam Obest, and again, thank him for his service.
Thank you, Louise, RWBC. Women, keep putting it out there that Susan Wiles is first female chief of staff. So, yeah, won't go there, but I'll say it publicly. Tate, whatever his name is, talk about every woman as at the end of the day, a sex worker. You can shut him down. Wasn't happy with that comment. Sorry, women, if you had to hear that. Some guy named Tate something.
We're bigger than that.
Yeah, well, I know he wants to join the conservative movement, but I don't see it as
Speak
conservative.
louder.
Yeah. All right, I'll do my best, okay? So, I think my job here today is to give you what I went through. And I will. Trying not to be long. Yeah. So as you heard, I'm a 20 Army veteran. What does that mean? Is I had nothing going for me in my life. My dad died when I was 15. Did some bad things, and the Army saved me when I was 17 as a split option. I went to base training.
Amen.
And then Fort Sill, Oklahoma, AIT. Yeah, I heard some veterans here. We'll talk about the veteran situation. I'll just say it real quick. They went after veterans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
they did.
They went after Christians and conservatives. Because you are in the way of globalism, evil. This guy here never wore a uniform. I told him the other day, he's a patriot. People who are patriots stand in the way of globalism and evil. Christians have prayer, the power of prayer. You know why that man you just heard made it in prison? Because he had God, family, country in his heart. And like he said, I want to go back to family. This country went through hell for 4 years. We don't realize what happened. We all know that election wasn't fair. We all know it was stolen behind the scenes. And patriots went there and said, you know what? Something was wrong. And because you stood in the way, they had an opportunity then to destroy those people. Weaponization, that word is legit. All right. So, as a 20 Army veteran, and then I joined the federal government in 2012. I was appointed under, called Veteran Recruitment Authority, so I was appointed. And I worked for the government. And public servant, true public servant, you know. That's what you do. When you're a veteran, when you're a regular guy, you say to yourself, I'm going to serve. So I was down there in Operation Warp Speed in 2020, July 2020 to November 2020. I saw the craziness, the cities burn. My wife's from Russia. She said, this is what they do in communism. They burn statues, they fake elections. They tell you to shut up. Don't question anything. Take the COVID commie mask. Put it on your face and be quiet. Take the jab. Shut up. You're going to get kicked out of the military if you don't do it. I was on the verge of getting kicked out of the government because I didn't want to take the jab. I eventually did. It's true. I didn't want to get blackballed as I already was, as a conservative in the government. But I was down there in 2020 and I saw crazy. So when Trump, we'll backtrack. We went to the Michael W. Smith Franklin Graham event in October, which was the best thing I ever seen in my life. The prayer. Michael Pence showing up sporadically. And we supported Michael Pence. That's not, we won't go there now. When we supported him, not anymore. He turned on us, right? But reality is that I was down there. And then a month later, me and my wife went down to Stop the Steal rally, which we were invited to. And we went to the BLM Plaza because I wanted to see it. And I'm telling you right now, people were attacked in front of me. I saw flags burned. I saw water hitting women. I saw people, I see families attacked, hit. And the cops stood by. I saw that in 2020. That's the truth. Somehow Fox News put us on TV that we were attacked as a family. It's not totally true. They used it as red meat, but it happened. So fast forward to January 6th. My wife, who's a huge Trump supporter, two friends of mine, said, I want to go to January 6th. And since I worked down there in D.C., I never worked down there before, I said, let's go. I got the minivan. I got the one with all the kids, all right? I said, I'll drive down, know where to park, when how to get there, we'll have a good time. We'll have a good day. We'll go to a protest. We'll go to the president's speech, and we'll have a good time. That's all we did. That was the intent. Went to the president's speech, like he said. It ended an hour later. I started an hour late. People were hesitant. They were not where to go. Should we go to the Capitol next? What are we doing? What's the next plan? We're going to the Capitol. Do one thing: to protest in a fraudulent election and pray and hope that our elected representatives like Clay Higgins and everybody else would open the debate up to the electoral college votes in the 4 swing states that we know had something happen in the middle of the night. We were there for one reason: to protest a fake or fraudulent election. We didn't know what was going on. We just knew something was wrong. That's what our intent was, which helped us in court, by the way. And I like your intent too, brother. All right? Let me be very clear. There were patriots there, and everybody had different intentions. I know what my intent was, though. When we got there, it didn't make any sense. I saw the chaos. I see the smoke. I got there on 210. So everybody knows who J6er knows. We're pretty far away from the beginning. The whole craziness is going on. The barriers are broken down. All this crap. Nobody knew that. There was no barriers. There was no gates. There was nothing. It was just people and noise and patriots. But you saw police and you saw tear gas. I was trained on riot patrol. I was trained on non-lethals. I know the levels of force, like this gentleman said. I know all of it. And it didn't make any sense that there were people getting sprayed, tear gas, all that nuts was going on, and we all were like, what is going on? So my two friends said they were going to meet some people. We left there, that was it. But long story short, my wife said, what do you want to do? You want to wait or do you want to get a little closer? Because I don't understand why we can't be here. We're supposed to go to a Stop Still rally. So what do? We got a little closer. As we got close, this is exactly what happened. We got close. I had my wife. Now, I had an American flag, by the way. Okay? American flag. Not a metal pole. It's a flag. And you can either carry the flag like this or you can put it on a pole. Everybody got a pole in front of their house? Raise your hand. Seriously, hanging up on a 45-degree angle. You got that little aluminum flagpole was my deadly weapon, by the way. Okay? But no, I went there to carry a flag because I remember seeing Antifa burn flags. I told my wife, if I go there and somebody try to take my flag, it ain't happening. That's the facts. So I'm going up there, we walk up, and I didn't know this, I didn't remember, we still don't remember, but it happened on video, according to the court. We walk up, and the second we walk up, there were two people to the left, two to the right. We still think they may have been agents, because they weren't getting sprayed, they had gas masks on, whatever. And me and my wife get sprayed in the face by a cop with tear gas, for no reason. That happened. And I go, what the heck? Honey, you gotta back up, this is crazy, what just happened? So, I put her back up, you can't be here, something's wrong. Something just happened. We got sprayed in the face by tear gas. Has anybody been sprayed in the face by tear gas? Raise your hand. In the Army, in training, I got sprayed in the tear gas. OC spray. Let me just tell you what it is. It's like your face is on fire, burning, and you can't quench it. Some people, it's worse than tase anything. You cannot quench it. Your face is burning. It doesn't go away because it's oil. So we got sprayed in the face. I put her back. I said, you stay here, honey, but I have the right to be here. Because we have the right to wave our flag and be able to protest. So long story short, as things happened, the line broke. I got a little closer and waved my flag, everything's cool. All of a sudden, I feel a pull. I feel a pull, my flag is pulled. Now she mentioned I was in the honor guard for 3 years. What did I do in 2008, 2010? I folded flags for veterans. Have you ever been to a funeral here in Maryland where a veteran died? And there's 2 men there, or 3, they're standing by the flag. Casket has a flag over it. After the memorial service, they say, please prepare for military honors. I did that for 3 years for this country. Think it was easy? Listen, why don't I tell you that? Flag means more than some people think. I don't know, I can't put my jacket now, but I got an American flag on my shoulder, tatted forever. It means something. So when I had my flag pulled behind me, I looked. It was a cop. And what do you think I did? Like any patriot would do. Get off my flag. Get off my flag. It was recorded and I was charged with assault, resistance, and impeding for that event.
For deadly danger.
Not yet. That was assault. About 3 minutes later, I'm waving my flag again. I'm waving it like this. I don't know why I'm waving it. And somehow, some way, it looked like it was coming downward towards a police line. And I got charged with what? Not just assault. Assault with a deadly weapon. Did I ever hit anybody? Nope. Didn't matter. It looked like it. I'll get to my case out. It worked out because it's all God. My wife wants to make sure I say it. Won't go too long, Louise.
Okay.
This is a God moment. This country is in a God moment right now. We've been restored by God and saved by God.
Amen.
Don't get it wrong. Your prayers would save J6 like us. So that was assault with a deadly weapon. Then about 2 minutes later, after I've been sprayed, 2 times my flag was trying to be attempted to be pulled from me. I've already been sprayed in the face once. I've already been hit once. My hand's already been hit by a baton. About 3 minutes later, another baton comes in near my face. Somebody grabs my flag again. It was a cop. And that baton was coming at my face. And what do you think I did? I blocked it. And I put it down. And I was called assault again. So I got 3 assaults, 1 with a deadly weapon, civil disorder, and then the 4 misdemeanors, all that had on it with a deadly weapon. So they can say you shouldn't have been on the Capitol grounds, but you had a deadly weapon. So it's not just on Capitol grounds that you're guilty, you're also with a deadly weapon. It's called enhancement. I want to tell you something you understand for facts. Never forget this moment. Does everybody remember the New York City case that Trump went through?
Yeah.
It was 34 misdemeanors of falsified business records.
Yeah.
And we all know it was legal. What else are you going to call it? It's called a legal expense. They charged him with 34 misdemeanors. But how did they make it a felony? They said it was in the act of another crime. So they elevated it from 34 misdemeanors to 34 felonies. Before a fake judge, a fake court, not fake, freaking lopsided, weaponized court system. And what happened? Our president got found guilty of 34 felonies. That's how they do it. They elevate. They use some weird law. What do you think the obstruction charge was for all those J6ers? It was a lie. They put people in prison for 3 years just because obstruction, a felony. I can go on and on. It's called weaponization of government. So what was I facing? I was facing, and this is what their plea was. Plea to 3.5 years in assault with a deadly weapon. That was their plea. So let me fast forward and understand. So I was arrested in June of 2023. And I'm going along. I'm sorry, please. So let me slow down. So obviously that whole event happened. Fast forward, I was still in the government, working in the government. I started seeing some articles about people getting arrested, former police officers getting charged and getting 7 years in prison. This made no sense. So I looked up the FBI website. I never went in the building, so I'm thinking, whatever, but I looked. And in May of 2022, I saw my face in the FBI one list. And I saw that stupid picture. My face is like this. So the FBI literally, listen, this is not a joke. The FBI, knowing the media, took the worst photo you could of you and put it as your photo. That's what you are. You're a photo. And they can lie about you. Say whatever they want. Don't matter what it is. They can lie whatever they want. They get away with it. So I was found, I was on their list. I got a lawyer. Long story short, hold my head down low. He said, wait till they come. I'm still in the government. In October 2022, I applied for a handgun. And I got denied. Started calling around, talked to some lawyers, talked to the state police, fire license department. Nobody knew why I got denied. 2 weeks later, state troopers came to my house. Knocked on my front door. It was peaceful, believe it or not. One was a veteran. I knew it immediately. Came to my house, had a beard like yours, brother. I said, you want to come on in? He's like, yeah, man, my beard's getting wet. Came on inside, offered him coffee. I said, what are you guys doing here? And I have some suspicions. He's like, yeah, we're sorry, man. We got to come confiscate your guns. So in October 2022, before I was arrested, before I was ever charged by the FBI, by the government, I was on their list though, right? I got my guns taken. 2 days later, after I did more investigations, more phone calls, I found out. I talked to the state trooper. I said, look, man, I've asked everybody. I don't know why my guns have been taken. And he asked me, he goes, were you there that day? And I go, what do you mean was I there? At this point, I'm talking to a cop. I said, I didn't go in no building. What do you mean was I there? He said, look, we don't know, but we got to figure it out. You've been labeled. I said, what do you mean been labeled? He said, this is between me and you because I'm a former Fed, right? And I was still a federal employee and a veteran. He goes, you've been labeled a domestic terrorist. Funny, right? But guess what? Americans like me were labeled domestic terrorists before I was ever even charged, before I was even arrested. I go on and on, but I'll point is my case happened. I lost access to the military base. I lost my job, resigned. Thank God I didn't get fired like some people. But when I went to my court case, I got 2 not guilties on the assault with a deadly weapon. They had no evidence, no victim, no nothing. I got a not guilty on the first assault when he grabbed my flag. Of course, me saying, wasn't it wrong that they sprayed me in my face that day? No, you can't bring that up. No, we can't use excessive force. You can't use self-defense. Nobody could. Anybody you think that had bad outcomes, that did something bad, remember, they saw people killed. They see people thrown off their balconies. They saw people trampled. So when they defend themselves from cops beating somebody, remember, that's what their main intent was. In closing, Yeah.
That obvious?
So I want to say this because it matters. So I got my guilties and missed not guilties in July. It was a miracle. But I got sentenced on December 13th, 18th month incarceration. I was under voluntary surrender.
The government wanted 50.
Yeah, they wanted 51 months. Of course, the local paper had that in there. Didn't work. The day of my sentence, I got a text from my league president. I'm not a basketball coach, I'm a football guy, you can tell. Getting pretty fat, right? Reality is, I was coaching because nobody stepped up. I was coaching basketball for youth. And that morning, before my sentencing, before I was even sentenced, I got a text. Hey, we heard about your case. Can't have you coach anymore. You know how many times that happened to people like us? Let me say the last thing. We were debanked. We were slandered. Lost your jobs. People got beat in prison. People like him did how many months? For defending their country. We are in a reprieve right now with Trump. They've been rescued from that bullet that would have taken us all out. Don't think it was just Trump. Our country would have been destroyed if he got killed. We are in a reprieve. Keep praying for our country. Thank you for having us. We love you. Thank you for supporting us. Okay. Good night.